Bryan Hayes will be filling in with a bunch of different roles. Hazy, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, JD. I'm here with Bruce Boudreau and Frankie Corrado. We've already seen you, Frankie, but do not touch the screen. Don't touch the screen, Bruce Boudreau. We do not mess with Bruce Boudreau.
We'll get to all the counties later.
Absolutely. We can do that later. But great to see you guys, and we're here to talk about a couple of superstars playing in the country with very good teams going to the playoffs. That would be Connor McDavid and Auston Matthews. Now, the Oilers have made a couple of moves the last couple of days to help McDavid, but we'll begin with you, Bruce. Which superstar player needs more out of their GM today to pursue a Stanley Cup in the spring? Is it Connor McDavid in Edmonton, or is it Auston Matthews in Toronto?
Well, I believe it's Connor McDavid. Now, they've made a couple moves, but I mean, the last 7 or 8 games, I have not liked what Edmonton has done. I think they need more help in goal. I think they need help on defense. I think even they got Frederick, which might really help, but I think they need the help. The Leafs can play a lockdown game with what they've got. I'd like to see them get some help in a third-line center and a right-sided defenseman that can defend. But for me, if Edmonton wants to reach the finals again, they're going to need a little more help than they're getting right now.
Yeah, I think both superstars have a gripe here, but Auston Matthews has not got to that Cup final, Frankie, right? And he's looking around saying, okay, Connor maybe didn't get a ton of help with Frederick and Wallman, good players,
yep.
But Matthews and company in Toronto have not received anything yet. Plus, when you look who they could play, for me, it's Toronto. For me, it's Auston Matthews, because as of right now, Edmonton likely playing LA in the first round. It's still up for grabs. A lot of games left to be played. But you need help to get the 1 seed if you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. If you don't, you're going into Tampa, you're going into Florida. Those teams have been active. For me, it's pretty clear cut. It's Auston Matthews and the Leafs. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I think if you look at Edmonton, the star players there and Connor McDavid leading the way, those guys have always gotten it done. And the guys in Toronto, they haven't been able to do that. They haven't dominated a playoff series to the point that you say there was no stopping those guys. The Edmonton guys, you could say that. So you could add some more help around the guys in Edmonton, and that will help because you already know what you're going to get from those guys. If Toronto gets more out of Matthews, gets more out of Marner, more out of Nylander come playoff time, then you can say that, okay, like they might need a little more help underneath them, but they haven't achieved that level yet in the playoffs, and that's where I see the difference between both these teams. I like the move that Edmonton made, bringing in Jake Wallman. That's smart. They needed a defenseman. It's some smaller moves lower in the lineup. If they can make a hockey trade, maybe sub someone out that isn't necessarily working in that lineup, like Bruce talked about, that might be a move for them. But the guys in Edmonton, they always get it done, and the guys in Toronto still have to get it done.
And that is 100% valid, Bruce. We know the history of both teams. And here in Toronto, I'd be curious your thoughts on what Auston Matthews said a couple of days ago as well, right? He's kind of referencing to the GM, Brad Treliving. I'd like to see some moves. Other teams are making moves. And it's not just about what you're going to do come playoff time, Bruce. Again, that 1 seed in the Atlantic is incredibly important for the Maple Leafs.
And I agree.
All right. Well, there you go. Bruce agrees. We love it. I'm sure you agree as well, don't you, Frankie?
Well, listen, like everyone in the Atlantic is making their moves. Tampa Bay makes a big move. Florida makes a big move. And you know what? If I'm Toronto and I'm looking at that and I'm saying, well, why do teams now want my Fraser Minton? Why do they want my Easton Cowan? If Florida gave up a goaltender who wasn't going to be the starter for them, and Tampa Bay just gave up picks, if you're Toronto and you're picking up the phone and people are saying, well, I want your blue chip prospects, you're saying, well, the price is different in Florida
Absolutely.
than what I got to give up, so then it makes it harder for you to stomach making that type of deal.
Well, and here's another reality when it comes to McDavid and Matthews. Individually, they've set the bar so high throughout their career. Neither guy has reached it this season, during the regular season. The way they have individually played, they're both going to have to pop come playoff time. James?